Hi, my name is Kumar Bivudh. I did my course from Jamboree, Gurgaon Center, and I scored 730 in GMAT. I did my graduation, that is computer engineering, from NIT Jaipur. I plan to do my MBA from an Ivy League school. The destinations which I'm targeting are mostly US and probably a college or two from Europe. I'm a big dreamer, been dreaming to apply to Harvard, so that's my dream college. The other courses which attract me a lot are Kellogg's and IMD in Switzerland. The leadership course there, most of the MBA colleges, I have 10 years of work experience. Skill building is not what I'm looking for, leadership building is what I'm actually targeting. Harvard is the pioneer in that, and that's why the dream there. I'm also attracted to IMD because of the nature of courses there. They have a lot of emphasis on sustainability and design thinking, which is what again is the new age management principles which I want to get exposure to. So as I told, I have 10 years of work experience. I've worked for investment banking, consulting, presently working for strategy team. I've been exposed to environment within India through different business cycles. The idea which I have to have an impact in the corporate world is going to be a global setup. The simple reason being there are multiple innovations coming out either from West or the East. So if I'm talking about design thinking as a practice, that's going to be West. So customer experience design thinking comes from West. If I'm talking about transactional commercial expertise, that's going to come out of China and India, and hence there is a need to marry both. I have Indian experience, but really been aspiring for the global exposure. That prompted me to either look for a job outside India or to actually gain that cultural know-how and touch and feel from the West per se. I think education is the right medium to get an in-depth understanding. It obviously keeps you away from the corporate world for a year or two, but the knowledge imparted is immense. Gives you the right tools, gives you the right exposure, gives you the right platform to start in the corporate world outside, which is a different environment. And hence, the whole, even mathematically, it sounds that it makes sense to go abroad, study, and then launch your career there. The idea is to first understand yourself. I mean, the GMAT process. The best part about going through a GMAT process is that you really introspect a lot, be it for the examination of GMAT, which is the GMAT exam, or be it the application process later on. When it comes to the exam, you have to know what your strengths are. Are you good in quant or are you good in verbal? Which can you capitalize more? Which areas you want to improve through your course of preparing for the exam? So it is a mental challenge within yourself. You're not really competing with anyone else but yourself. So the 3 points is know yourself best, where your strengths lie. Ensure that the ones where you're weak do not hamper your score, and that's why they require adequate attention. But the third most important point which helped me was I never left my strength areas. I ensured that those strength areas, be it quant or be it sentence correction, because they are objective in nature, I kind of get the maximum score out of them, which is what it translated on that day as well. It was a tough paper, but these objective questions I ensured that I scored the maximum, and that helped my score. So study material, if you are actually evaluating taking up a course in Jamboree, Gurgaon Center, or anywhere in Jamboree, the best part is there is tons of material. It is an information age. There is no lack of information or knowledge available online or within books. The important point is how do you direct your energy, because most of the people who are taking this exam are actually working. So prioritization and directing your energy becomes very important. In that sense, more than material, I would rather recommend that you have a very close connect with your teachers in the center. They really guide you to move your journey forward for the score. So again, it is not upon the material, it is more about the interaction you have with your teachers, and material follows. They really direct you which areas to solve for, which are the most important subjects for cracking GMAT, which has heavy weightage, where you are actually lagging and might need more practice. For example, in GMAT Center as well, both Vishal and Akanksha, whom I worked with closely, knew which were the areas I really needed to work on. To be honest, sentence correction was one of the areas where I needed to work a lot on, but it happened to be my strength area. So it's more about the interaction with teachers rather than pinning down on one material. So Jamboree has a huge ton of material. There's no lack of it. Be mock tests. Obviously, there is GMAT prep available, but that you should enter only when your teachers recommend you to, rather than just going full on with any material available. Think about it on three levels. One is building your platform, so getting your basics right. If you are attending the Jamboree sessions, rest assured you will go through the basics of each and every topic for GMAT. So that you're sure that it's getting covered, and you're not really jumping into solutions, but you're getting into the basics and doing the diagnosis, whether you are strong there or not there. So it helps on that front. Second point is, post your diagnosis and understanding of each basic, you get into the practice where you really need it most, or building your strengths where you already are strong in. For that, Jamboree has a lot of material, and you have the teachers to guide you. Third one is actually getting into the test mindset. I remember both Vishal and Akanksha telling me that mock test is not about replicating your scores, but it's more about having that frame of mind to be the best test taker. And the best part is, with a lot of mock tests at Jamboree, you train your mind to be a test taker. So honestly, even if it's a bad day, which in my mind GMAT day was a bad day for me, I ended up scoring a very good scores, which is basically which comes from not from day one, from building your basics, knowing your strengths, doing the diagnosis, and third is getting into the test taking frame of mind. I've actually gone through cycles. When I started preparing for GMAT, I would get a score of 650, 680 odd. During my preparation at Jamboree, I was already touching 700. Then I actually ended up touching 770, 780 in mock tests. Now, so again, this is all mock tests. The benefit is you actually understand that a question, after spending say 1.5 to 2 minutes, the probability of you cracking that question by spending one more minute is, the probability keeps going down. So that's how you strategize. So the strategy for me has been the ability to see whether I can crack that question or not. That is number one. And second is, especially for objective questions, for sentence correction, for quant, you realize that there are certain questions which have a trend or have a pattern. If you get the same pattern, you are through with those questions during GMAT. So a combination of ability to crack a question and ability to gauge whether you can crack the question, and second is the support you get by recognizing that pattern on the GMAT day. That together, I think, which has helped me, and I'm sure will help many others.